is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unscrupled, covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Seasons 5, Episodes 21 and 22, The Weight of the World, and The Gift. In these episodes, Buffy fucking dies. Like, what the fuck? Also, there's like 2 seasons left, so, like, is it just going to... I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Unscrupled. Hey, we haven't been here in a while.
No, we have not.
It's been like 3 weeks, guys. So, yeah.
So much life has happened in that time.
There's lots of traveling, and a computer died, and yeah, it's just shit. So, yeah, we're back. And guess what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna read new patrons first.
Okay.
Because it's been a fucking while.
Yeah, it has.
So, Lady Howlett, Toasted Toad, Shivali Vesudavian, Colette Smith, Rebecca Felderman, Robin Patanal, Sigstrata, Crystal Powell, J.B., Kayla Seifert, Zachary Erskine, Guava Corvallis, Kelly Correa. Sorry, I fucked that one up. Kelly Correa. I give up. Helen, Faith Ryan, Michael Kioski, Bachman, Linda George, Jeanette Rose, Jacob Johnston, Matt E., Sam Jimenez, Stephanie Richter, Jesse Farrell, and Brittany Garrett. So welcome, guys. You are now part of the fan club, and I can see how much money each of you are pledging.
Don't tell them that.
You know, if we had a smaller number of patrons, I would love for us to do, like, Opening Arguments does, where they, like, invite them to change their name to something very weird to read out loud.
Okay.
So, like, one guy names himself a string of unpronounceable characters, and another says, Kim Jong-un mas cerveza, por favor.
Hinkle McCrinkleberry. Yeah.
Either bitches or money died at the end of Infinity War.
Oh, no!
Yeah, guys, like, the spoiler train sailed on that, and you guys, like, you didn't even wait for it to be on Netflix or home video or anything?
Oh, I still haven't seen it and don't know, am not spoiled, so don't say shit right now, okay?
Yeah. So, let's see. Buffy dies.
Yeah. Buffy dies at the end of these episodes, guys.
And I'm going to preface this by saying, like, I actually was super into these episodes, and they were exciting and fun, but I also feel like they cheated a little bit.
How'd they cheat?
Because in the middle of the second episode, she just decides that she's made of the same stuff as Dawn.
They've kind of been working up to it.
Have they?
They did a whole montage about it.
A montage at the... No one with any authority said, like, Buffy, she was built from your blood or something like that.
Well, they had to build her from something.
Yeah, but you don't get to just, like, the protagonist can't just decide that if she commits suicide, everything will be fine and have it work. So, yeah, I was kind of weirded out by that, and this season has been building up to someone important dying. I would prefer it someone that I know is not going to come back immediately, because there's still 2 seasons left.
Well, you gotta keep in mind at the time, we didn't know that.
So, were they in danger of...
It's a Joss Whedon show, it's always in danger.
Because it didn't feel very farewell-y.
Well, I can't speak to what was going on behind the scenes at the time, but this is not... Well, this might be the first time Joss did this, but it certainly wasn't the last, where... You know, he writes a final episode and then gets renewed and doesn't know what the fuck to do.
I get that. It's just, like, this doesn't feel like, even for Joss Whedon, this doesn't feel very finale-y.
No, usually he makes it a bit more epic than I have to die to save my sister.
I don't know about epic, just a little more, like...
And the world.
Looking back and...
Yeah, he usually... I feel ya, but you know how at the end of the season you maybe don't know how much script you're gonna get to work with, and maybe sometimes I honestly don't know how this happened. Maybe it was the plan all along, but also maybe it wasn't. Because you're not wrong about Buffy deciding that she was the key to stopping the apocalypse being kind of ham-handed. I tried to argue against it, guys, but no, he's right. It doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. It feels kind of cheap, and it's kind of hand-wavy. And, you could have killed her in the fight, or...
Well, they wanted her death to mean something. Because that's what the whole, death is your gift thing is. Not only is it something she gets to deal out, but death is something Buffy gets to have. And they spend, these entire 2 episodes going on and on about how Buffy's fucking tired, yo!
Yeah.
Buffy wants a nap.
So, let's get into this episode, or these pair of episodes. So, Willow is clearly taking they've sort of lifted the plot point from Final Fantasy VII, where she just sort of spends time in Buffy's head and tries to find key points of important memories that are...
Mm-hmm. Willow's playing paranormal therapist and is delving into Buffy's psychotic break in order to bring her back to consciousness. Because once Glory absconds with Dawn, Buffy goes into a catatonic state, and nothing's snapping her out of it. Even Spike shaking her up a little bit.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I like this new Willow. I kind of wish that she was, I don't know, around.
I do enjoy it when Willow takes command.
I do too. I'm like, where the fuck have you been, Willow? When did you become this person? I missed all of that because you were too busy focusing on Riley.
She has flashes of it here and there where Willow just gets mad at everyone and says, "No, this is how we're doing it, damn it."
Yeah, it's just, the Willow we're seeing here is a much more mature, fleshed out person.
Yeah.
And it's...
This may be where you finally understand why I'm so into Willow.
Oh, I know why you're into Willow. You have a type.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of cheeks and... all the hair, titties, a kind of cutesy smile that she puts her finger on and shows her gums. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So what you're saying is I like women.
No, it's a very specific woman.
Okay, fine.
So.
And they have to be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Willow is a person now, which is a good thing.
Yay!
And, I hope to God they are done with infantilizing Willow. Because that's been such a big frustration of mine.
I suppose we'll see.
Okay, so, Willow is hanging out in Buffy's head. Mm-hmm. And we see the memory of, little Dawn being brought home, which never actually happened.
Right.
And we see Joyce again, but it's not Joyce without the early 90s mom perm.
It's Joyce with different mom.
Her hair leapt a decade into the future in that little flashback. It was...
Sometimes fashion is cyclical.
But this was the 80s. It would be even more permed.
Yeah, it would be permed out to her shoulders. It would be
feathered, or...
She would be a rectangle with the top half being all hair.
Or one of those John Goodman mullets with it was kind of curly.
Oh.
Remember those days?
Do I have to?
Yes.
No!
Yeah. So, we see her dad for the second time in 5 years.
It's a whole different actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a different actor. I don't even care. All white men look alike. So.
It's true. And let's face it, Buffy's dad isn't important even a little bit.
I know. And, earlier I thought at some point we were going to have, Buffy's dad has been turned into a vampire. But they're legitimately going for Buffy's dad just is not important.
Which I respect.
I applaud them for that.
Yes.
When I learned that Joyce was going to die, I was like, oh, fuck. Is it going to be Spike that kills her? Please don't tell me it's going to be Drusilla. But no, it's like actual, the human body not being indefinitely operating that works.
Yeah. Death kills Spike. Or Joyce.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, she remembers that her baby sister was born at some point. And then we go back to the magic shop where she's putting a book away. Mm. And standing there like she forgot. She was trying to remember she left the coffee pot on.
Yeah.
She puts it on the shelf and she's just like sitting there and I'm like, girl.
Snap out of it.
Yeah.
That's what they keep saying to her, actually. Snap out of it.
Right.
And I got
But I've had that thing before where like you're in the middle of a sentence and you're like, did I leave the gas on?
Yeah, I've drifted off in the middle of stuff before and it's like gone to a different place and people are like, what the hell's going on?
Right. So, and then we have like, guys, Buffy, don't do peyote at Joshua Tree and you won't have to deal with hallucinations of Neanderthal women with face paint. It's just...
Yeah, probably lay off the acid, babe. It's gonna be okay.
We also have the fantasy of her smothering Dawn, and then...
Which, who amongst us has not had a fantasy of smothering Dawn?
Oh my god, or any sibling, for that matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, siblings in general, that goes without saying, but I'm talking about smothering Dawn. I mean, I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah. Is that why you have a lady boner?
How'd you know?
Because I'm me, and I've known you for a dozen years.
And I'm wearing sweatpants.
Yes. So, yeah, and we also get the grave in her mom's room.
Yeah, that's weird, but, dreams.
Yeah, it's like Buffy processing her grief and trying to face up to stuff.
But also, it's like, okay, really kind of picturesque grave in a bedroom, perhaps symbolic of rest.
Sure. We'll go with that.
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. If you were writing English paper, in high school, that's what you would use.
I'd still get an A in college.
Yeah, but you wouldn't care.
Well, I mean, I did care. But anyway, so yeah, whole dream sequence and Willow has to go through a couple of times to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and I appreciate, like, Sarah Michelle Gellar is doing stellar work here when she, like, this is when I realized that I can't win, which is something, like, I'm shocked it took her this long.
Yeah.
I wish it was of a more, a villain with more gravitas than Glory.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not the sexy villain that's the strongest. Sometimes it's the one that just is obnoxious and annoying, and that's more insult than anything.
It's just that Glory is so cartoony.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I would respect the show more if she was animated. And she's a god. She can do whatever the fuck she wants, so why the fuck not,
But she's not a god. She's a being that someone called a god, but she's not, because she's not omnipotent, and she's trapped in mortal form, and et cetera, et cetera. Yes, she cannot be killed, but she does have, like, foibles and weaknesses and limits to her power. She needs to eat people's brains, for Christ's sake. Who ever heard of gods doing that?
Sure. I feel like a lot of this would be solved if they hadn't called her a god.
Yeah.
Just because, like, she could be different, but the fact that they did this build-up is like, nobody knows what she is, and she's so powerful. What is it? She's a god, because we have to escalate the villain each time, and I'm kind of like, really? This?
Yeah. So wait, what's the next villain gonna be?
I don't know. The universe, Gaia, chaos itself. The heat death of the universe. I don't know.
That's fun. Okay. So yeah, they go on this Buffy's brain merry-go-round 3 or 4 times, and finally Willow gets it. It's like, oh, you gave up for a minute, and now you feel like that's what caused Dawn to get captured and die.
This is really good stuff, and it's such a high-pressure job, and you have to be constantly on.
Mm-hmm. And she gave up for a split second, so she thinks that means failure. Because Buffy might be a little bit type A. Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, a perfectionist. You know how when you're a perfectionist, you make one tiny mistake, you have to start the fuck over? Not that I do that all the time.
That's actually not. It's like, I've had some high-pressure jobs in my time, and it's like, when you have to constantly have your foot on the gas just to make sure things are working.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
and,
I'm living that life now. It's exhausting.
And, of course, everybody notices when you need a breather, right? Because you just took a few days off.
Yeah, I came back to Bedlam, you guys.
And the place was on fire, and they were eating each other.
Yes.
And
wearing toner paper.
There was a Thunderdome.
Yes. Oh, God.
Face paint with toner.
It's really bad, you
and
guys.
like green and blue robes and shit. It was weird.
It was so bad.
Harmony was there.
I know. Why was Harmony there? Anyway, point being, yeah, she feels like she can't let up for even a second because that means she fails, and she let up for a second, and now
and
she
it costs
failed.
other people things.
Oh yeah.
And like even when she is running on all cylinders, it's still like she still can't save her mom. So like I really feel all of this coming from Buffy.
But I also feel what Willow said to her, which was, snap the fuck out of it. Yes, you gave up for a second. Yeah, that's human, yo. You're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to lose hope for a little bit. But you still gotta pick your shit up and try. Fuck. She probably said fuck fewer times.
She probably did. Nah, I don't know. Like, I could see...
It was in her tone.
Yeah, Willow can say fuck all she wants.
Yes, she can. She could say it to me.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Meanwhile, I knew someone was going to die in one of these episodes. My money was on Tara. Because the show has a bit of a problem with stakes.
They had already ruined Tara.
Let me finish where I'm going with this.
Okay.
And that, like, one of the reasons that I tend to focus and care more about the minor characters who have personality, like Cordelia and Amy and Harmony, is because I know that these are actually expendable. Whereas jackasses like Xander and Giles, who have just not had any character growth at all in 4 years, they're part of the main cast and they're immune. So it was the show was really building this sense of dread that and they even said it outright, we're not all gonna make it out.
Yeah, I think Anya said it because she's one for stating the obvious.
Right. So my money was on Tara until we had the Xander and Anya scene.
Ah, where he proposes.
Yes.
And then you thought it was Anya?
Because there's a show that we like a lot that's based in a correctional facility.
Oh, yeah.
Where the moment you show any hope means something's terrible going to happen to you.
Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, don't go to prison in Australia. It's where hope goes to die.
I was talking about...
No, it's way worse in Wentworth. Way worse.
I have a specific thing in mind, but I don't want to do spoilers, so...
Okay, yeah, don't, because I haven't seen all of Orange yet.
Oh, this happened years ago.
Oh, okay, never mind. But anyway, so Hope goes to die in prison, guys, be it America or Australia. Watch those shows, though. They're fun.
Yeah, they're really good. I don't know if Oz is any good, but I don't want to see men in prison.
I've seen Oz. It's fucking phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah. It's really good. I've seen it all the way through 3 times, guys.
I've not seen a single frame of it.
Okay.
But it feels like... there's that certain class of show that has the most obnoxious fans, and not because they pick fights with other fans about, minutia, like the Game of Thrones people do. They're the ones who say this is the best show on television. Who, if this show, like, they probably in their lives have said, I don't own a TV, yet somehow they're watching The Wire. Because it's just so good and so edgy and so real.
You guys, it's art. It's not like other TV. It's art.
Like, Breaking Bad is forever tainted by its fucking fans and how
obnoxious they were.
Just how prestigious it plans on being. So that's why I haven't watched Oz. It could very well be an amazing show.
Well, it's like almost 20 years old now, so I think you can let it go if you want.
It's not that, you know.
I've got it all downloaded, but we have it on thing. So, but anyway, if you ever want to watch it, I'll do it with you. Maybe you could be. And then you could hate on it.
We need to do something you haven't seen.
I know.
It's been so long.
You want to be unspoiled, or you want to be spoiled again. Fine.
Yes, I'm better at gaslighting you.
You are better at gaslighting me. Or are you?
And you were going to say that. You know how? Because I gaslight you.
Why are we friends?
What were we talking about?
Back to Buffy.
Yeah. So... yeah, Xander and Anya get engaged.
Right there in the basement, still sticky from their lovemaking.
Yeah. Apparently Xander is capable of bringing Anya to orgasm.
Who knew?
Yeah, and Anya's been around a while. She would not be the type of woman who mistakes a non-orgasm for an orgasm.
Yeah, she in fact
she dated an ogre.
Well, he wasn't an ogre when they were dating.
He was still Abraham Ben Ruby.
Yeah, he was still a big guy. But yeah, she really does think that Xander is quite the stud muffin in the sack, which she has expressed on many occasions. And to be fair, he probably is. I mean, when you're that big a nerd, you think about sex a lot.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Anyway.
Thinking about sex and thinking about how to do sex for the pleasure of someone else are two very different things.
Xander's an inherent people pleaser.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. So yeah, that's what Xander and Anya are up to, which is not much.
Yeah, it's like, good for you guys. Back to, like, the world's gonna end.
Giles has been stabbed.
Yeah, he's recovering.
Yeah, it's like these people... they recover from belly wounds pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't think that they really grasp how many guts you got in there.
Well, we've been over this with Battlestar Galactica and the weird, 2 shots to the sternum. Give it 2 episodes, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
In the hip, dead.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, it grazed my thigh.
Yes.
Remember me.
So we need to talk about the Ben Glory mind block thing.
How did you like that scene?
I was actually disappointed in this.
I've been waiting for this shit all season. I had to scream at Gwen.
Yeah, you were kind of mean about it, and I was like...
I had already told her to shut up 3 times.
No.
Like seriously. She's like, it's not a spoiler. It's like, fucking shut up!
It's a fine twist. It was disappointing to me because my conclusion from this was that Dawn was up to something. In that maybe Dawn, wasn't entirely honest about not knowing knowing she was the key, or maybe, some memories came flooding back, or maybe she'd done some homework and figured this shit out and didn't want to, as much as I don't like Dawn,
yeah,
she still needs a little agency here.
The thing is, Dawn could have been a great character. We want to like Dawn. We want to feel for her.
But it requires that she be a lot less passive, because I don't... yeah. There's very little in this that she has actually done.
Yeah, she pretty much hasn't grown as a character from when she was a formless ball of energy.
And even when she has an idea, she can't act on it without egging on by Spike.
Yeah.
So Dawn just doesn't do things.
Yeah, Dawn just sits there and gets kidnapped.
Right. So, yeah, and then, so apparently there's a mental block that makes everyone forget this.
Which, that's the only way that kind of situation would actually work. So,
now, Spike
cool.
says we could just kill Ben.
Yeah, and Spike is 100% right, and I support his initiative.
I do too. And I don't like Ben.
Nope.
Because Ben is not very well acted.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to throw shade on you, random actor dude who I've never seen before. But this, maybe it was poor direction, but I was not buying Ben.
No. The actor is terrible. The character is poorly written and two-dimensional. And pretty much everything about Ben sucks, even his stupid floppy hair.
Right. And, there's two reasons I'm not going to really have any investment in the moral quandary of should Ben die. One, we've already got a bigger moral quandary with Dawn.
Right.
And two, we already know he's a terrible person, and I don't want him to survive because he called down a fucking meteor to eat mentally ill people because he didn't like them yelling.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair.
a fucking doctor. You're a shit person, Ben.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're dead. And I told you this before, I am mad that Giles did not shoot him or bash his head in. He just held his breath.
Well, Giles is still recovering from a gut wound, so, he probably hasn't got a ton
There's
of
a
movement.
wrecking ball to drop on his ass.
That's true. There were a lot of stray bricks and stuff around. He probably could have, lifted with his knees, picked it up, and just, plopped it right on his skull.
There were so many options here.
But I do think that it's kind of poetic doing it in that quiet librarian's way.
No. It felt underwhelming to me. So
I kind of liked it.
I knew that Ben would ultimately make a selfish choice here.
Yeah.
So when Spike says, let's kill Ben, I'm like, great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was legitimately confused. I'm like, wait, do you guys not... Were you all passed out? Did you miss that?
Yeah. I found the whole thing where Spike keeps having to explain to them again and again that Ben is Glory and Glory is Ben. I find that shit hilarious. As he just gets more and more frustrated and figures it out and is just like, rah, and slapping Xander around. Man, that's comedy. That's comedy I can get behind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was the fight between Xander and Spike, but... And yeah, Willow really, really shines in this, and I kind of don't want Buffy to come back next year, even though I know she is, because it's called Buffy and not Willow.
Well, we're gonna find out.
But let's talk about what Willow's up to. Willow is doing research, and Buffy's right. Willow is the only one who has ever been able to put a dent in Glory's plans.
It's true.
And it took everything she had.
Yeah, and she scraped her up a little bit.
Yeah. So, and then there's the, Willow, you're my big gun. And which is a big evolution, considering who Willow was in the first episode.
Yeah. See, remember when you were so worried about Willow floating pencils? Now it's about to all pay off.
I still don't...
Are you still uneasy about this shit?
Oh,
Jesus
yes.
fuck.
I thought... Here's how I thought the episode was going to go down.
Yeah.
I thought that Tara was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And then Willow was going to lose her shit and just explode that giant tower into the fucking stratosphere.
Okay, yeah, that's totally something Willow would do if
And
pissed off enough.
Right.
But I don't think Willow's that powerful yet. She would probably just,
I feel like if
exploded and hurt Sunnydale with the shrapnel.
I feel like if Willow were to lose Tara, then that is exactly what would happen, because it wouldn't be a matter of what Willow is capable of doing. It would be a matter of what Willow is capable of stopping.
Huh. Interesting.
So,
well, luckily Tara survives. Thank God.
Once again, there's a spell that does exactly what you need it to and nothing else.
Yes, suck Tara's consciousness out of the mind of
And
this
not
beast.
anyone else's.
No, the rest of those guys can suck it.
These, like, there exists a spell that is uniquely made to reverse what Glory does.
Yeah.
And this has been recorded somewhere, yet it took the Watchers Council God knows how many months and God knows how many sacrifices to get the information that she is a god.
Hey, do you think that fatted cows grow on trees, man?
What?
You sacrifice a fatted cow to the... Anyway, point being...
It's a fatted calf. Don't argue with a Jew on this shit.
Calves are baby cows.
I know, but I've read my fucking Torah, and it doesn't say cows.
Well, they edited it.
Specifically a calf.
They edited it
for very
in the
important
King James Bible.
Religious reasons
which
that
is what I was
don't
raised
remember
on.
from shul.
Because calves are more valuable because
Yes.
they're little.
Yes.
And tasty.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's a vegetarian. I'm sorry, Money.
It's fine. Like,
I've actually never eaten.
I'm not offended about
cow.
I'm not offended about the cow. I'm offended about misquoting the Jewry.
I'm sorry. I read an abridged version.
It's like a Wikipedia with a link.
Yeah, King James edited this.
All right, where were we? There's a spell that does exactly what Willow needs to.
And she manages to pull that off with a little help from her friends, including the Buffy bot. Let's talk about the Buffy
Yeah,
bot.
this is some really good stuff. Like we had the orb, which came back. We had Olaf's hammer, which came back, and we had the Buffy bot. All of these are very good Chekhov's random items.
Yes. Things that we know are in the basement.
Which I'm like, yes, this is so cool, which is why we didn't get to the suicide thing, which she just pulled out of her ass in the last second. I'm like, wait, what? You were so good at Chekhoving just half a second ago. Yeah.
So, yeah, we get to the point where Glory has to do battle with Buffy, and Buffy does her quips and throws the orb, and Glory smashes it, and then Buffy's fighting Glory, and it's really good, and then suddenly Glory wins, snaps her head right off. Oh, wait, that's not Buffy. It's a space station. No, it's a bot. And yeah, Buffy charges in from behind with the fucking hammer.
We're kind of ahead of ourselves, though, because we haven't talked about what Giles has been up to.
I really don't care. What has Giles been up to?
This is the fight between Buffy and Giles about killing Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you do care about that. I thought it was powerful. I liked it in that, like, Buffy is grieving.
Yeah.
She's got very little in this life. Her friends have moved on.
Yeah.
Even Giles is like, he's not really a father figure at this point. He owns a store.
Yeah.
So, can I tell you something?
Always.
You know how our awesome listeners send us all kinds of cool Harry Potter themed stuff? Pop dolls, books, journals, candy. I mean, they send us so much stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of still want more stuff.
You greedy bitch.
I know. Don't tell anybody.
Remember when you used to make fun of people who had Harry Potter stuff?
I know! What happened to me? You happened to me. And now, every time I see Harry Potter anything, I want it. But I see a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Sometimes they'll have Ravenclaw stuff with fucking ravens on it.
Well, now that you mention it, I do know somewhere that you can get really unusual, handmade Harry Potter items shipped to you every month. And they know that Ravenclaw's animal is an eagle because they're not a bunch of goddamn posers.
Ooh, tell me.
It's our new sponsor, AkioBox. They're giving everyone who subscribes with the code UNSPOILED 10% off their first 3 boxes. And every month, you get 3 to 5 specially curated items, including at least one that is specific to your house, all delivered right to your door.
This sounds amazing.
I know, right? And because AkioBox focuses on unique handcrafted items, you're also supporting a series of other small businesses. Plus, you're guaranteed to not have the same gear as some filthy casual who picked up a Raven keychain at Walmart.
Well, I'm a lot of things, but you know I'm not casual.
Not a casual bone in your body. That's why AkioBox is for you.
Well, shit, girl, where do I sign up?
AkioBox.com. And don't forget to look for them on Facebook and Instagram, too. Facebook.com/TheAkioBox and Instagram.com/TheAkioBox.
What's the code again?
Really?
I'm sorry, I forgot.
The code is unspoiled.
That makes total sense.
AkioBox. Magic delivered.
So, Dawn is all she has left, as much as we don't like Dawn. And Spike, but Spike is
like the thing you don't want to have left.
Yeah.
He's the burnt piece at the bottom of your crock pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you're eating. Sometimes that's the best.
Well, this is not fondue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've never had fondue, actually, you know?
Oh, we should do that.
Do we have fondue pots?
Well, no, but I'm sure we can, make it work.
Okay.
Fondue pots are more like a party thing. Really, it's just hot cheese that you dip bread
No,
in.
it's like you have 2 pots of almost the same size, but the top one is got a rounded bottom, and then you put boiling water in one, so that melts the cheese without it sticking to the bottom.
But you also put a little burner thing underneath it to keep it warm.
Well, yeah, but that's for parties. You can do it on the fucking stove.
That's what I'm saying! God damn it!
But what we're missing... You're making us clip. Stop that.
Yeah.
So... how did we get to fondue? Yeah. Buffy is apparently... Here's some... I posted about this on my live blog.
Yeah.
They have to bleed the key.
Yeah, they do.
Why didn't the monks turn it into something that doesn't bleed?
Because then they'd find some other way to bleed
Like a hole
key.
punch.
A hole punch.
Or a bone. Or a blender. Not an orange. Not a person. Not a Capri Sun pack. If it can't bleed, she can't do the ritual. These monks, are not good at what they do.
Soccer ball. They just leak the air out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does the blue.
I'm pretty sure they would have found a way to open the portal no matter what you made the key.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the ritual works that, once her blood starts to fall, the portal will not close until she dies, which means her blood stops.
Okay, so here's the thing about that prophecy bullshit. All it says is that the portal shall not close until her blood stops flowing. Put a fucking Band-Aid on, you motherfuckers! Jesus Christ, it doesn't have to mean that her heart stops. It just means that, the blood's not coming out anymore. Is this, truly that difficult? Is she on her period? What the fuck are you assholes talking about? She has to be dead. It never says that.
That actually would have been a really gross, but really, interesting plot twist if, she didn't get cut, but she has her first period up there.
Yeah, and Buffy shows up with a tampon. Don't worry, Dawn, we've got this.
Yeah.
Buffy, I don't know how. This is gonna get weird.
Yeah. But it's the line where Buffy is saying, it doesn't matter, we're not killing Dawn. And it's well, what if they start the ritual? And she's well, then the last thing she'll know is me defending her, which is that is also lifted from one of my favorite works of art, which I think you've read, but it's been a dozen years, so you don't remember.
Possibly. Which one?
Cavern of Black Ice.
I've read it twice for you. Of course I remember. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because there's that point where one character is like, what if I can't stop? What if I open the gates of hell? And he's like, well, then I will fight the demons as they come for you.
Yeah.
And it's like when he could very well just stick a knife in her eye and be done with it.
He could.
Right. You really should read the rest. It's really good.
I'll make time soon.
I have the hardbacks downstairs.
I need audiobooks. I don't have time to sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really affecting for me. Like, as much as, like, I'm complaining about the show, like, cribbing better plot points from better shows, but that doesn't mean I don't like them. Like, this is good cribbing. Like,
but also, that's art.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a single piece of art in the world, or soup, or whatever, that doesn't steal from other stuff.
Right.
Like, our oldest stories are all stolen from other oldest stories.
So there's Spike and Xander going to see Discount Ron Rifkin.
Yeah, creepy guy.
Which is another Chekhov's thing that works.
You keep saying Chekhov's.
Do you not understand that?
I don't know.
Chekhov's gun is a trope where, like, if you see... it's from a play, I'm not sure what play, but there's a gun introduced. If
there's a gun in the first act, then it's going to go off in the third?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, there's Chekhov's Olaf's hammer, and Chekhov's orb, and Chekhov's sex robot, and Chekhov's...
So I know what it is when you say Chekhov's gun, but when you just keep saying Chekhov, I think you're talking about Star Trek. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, his name is Chekhov.
Yeah.
But he can't come back.
He can't. I know.
He's dead.
Guys.
Are you okay? You're faking it, aren't you?
I'm fine. I'm an excellent actress.
Yeah. So I heard someone put together a petition that's like, hey, don't recast Chekhov. Why don't you just, like, transfer him somewhere else and make
his
an Indian woman,
station,
because the whole point is, like, you know...
Muslim Indian woman.
Or an Iranian woman.
Oh my god.
Or a North Korean woman. Holy shit.
It would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we go to the fight scene. So, the setup here is that all of the poor crazies are...
welders.
Yeah, they're building a giant cell phone tower.
What I want to know is why being crazy suddenly gives you shitty but passable construction skills, because that tower was not built of plywood. It was like big steel beams and shit, set in concrete.
I mean, I kind of felt like she was commanding them.
Okay, because she knows a lot about construction?
I mean, she knows...
It's like,
she's been around a while. We
need some number 3 rivets over here, guys.
It's steel. As long as it gets pounded together and, like, it won't collapse like plywood will.
Yeah, fine.
It's, like, you don't... The 3 little pigs figured this out. I think this crazy people could, too.
They did not figure it out. That's the point of the story.
One of them did.
He built with bricks, and he built 1-story house, because those don't blow over. And like, seriously.
Only one of him. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Dawn is having a weird fight with Glory.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed this part where Dawn and Glory are having their little heart-to-hearts.
Why?
Because I like the part where Glory is figuring out that she's having emotions that aren't hers. And I also like Dawn finally showing a little bit of spine and, like, essentially spitting in her face, if not... I mean, did she actually spit in her face? I can't remember.
I don't think she did.
But, like, she does a lot of back talk, which is what teenagers excel at, and I think that's good.
Okay.
And also there's the part where Glory convinces Ben to be on her side, and Ben is giving Dawn, you know, her outfit for the evening, and she's like, no, be Glory. I don't want to look at you. And then,
that was actually really good.
Yeah, that's like quite possibly my favorite part of
I felt like Ben just kind of ruined it for me, because he's not very good at acting.
Yeah, the actor's terrible, but
I did not see a whole lot of qualm going on with him, and he's like, well, I'm going to leave this little girl out. And I'm like, well, okay, but it's also... was kind of obvious that, like, the moment Glory opened her mouth and said, I'll make you immortal, I knew, like, this is a foregone conclusion. We have seen what a selfish son of a bitch this man is.
Yeah. And what I don't get is why he believes her on any level.
Because he's going to die anyway?
Yeah, he really hasn't got a lot of options.
Exactly.
But still, I mean...
He's not, like, he could kill himself, but he's just not strong enough to do so.
I kind of wish Spike had gotten to talk to him, because Spike would have said, like, you know what? I'm evil. But I'm, like, evil for a purpose. Like, 'cause it's fun. You're just evil 'cause you have no spine.
Right.
And that's pathetic. And that would have been very satisfying.
Yeah.
But there was no way to orchestrate it, but still.
There really wasn't. So, there's a fake out that she's gonna get away, and then it doesn't happen, and Ben
makes a deal with the devil.
Or a god.
Is there really such a difference? It's really all about what
you should
side
listen
you're
to
on.
my Wicked and Divine podcast with the famous Stephen Atwell at Graphic Policy, and we will actually have this discussion quite a bit.
I'll download it tonight. Where can I find it?
At Graphic Policy.
But is it on iTunes or
Yeah,
Spotify?
it's on iTunes.
There
We're
we
covering
go.
The Wicked and Divine, which is really cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys. I'm the unspoiled one, naturally.
You poor bastard.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, we have a little bit of Spike character development when he needs to be invited in.
Yeah. And they have, like, this weird heart-to-heart where they admit that they respect each other.
Yeah. Which
And
it's been a long time coming that they're, like, frenemies at this point
yeah.
instead of nemeses.
Yeah, they're finally able to acknowledge that they're on the same side and that they're both okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of nice. That felt okay. Especially since Spike's job is protect Dawn. Like, and she knows he will. Like, no matter what, he's gonna throw himself at the things trying to hurt Dawn. And he does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, like, my favorite part of the episode was the wrecking ball, though.
Yes! It came in like a red.
Yes, part of me wanted to cut that into those frames.
It's hard not to. I mean, it's a catchy ass
Well,
song.
I mean,
and
like, I
Wrecking
thought
Ball.
about it, and I fired up Camtasia, and I'm like, am I doing this? And I decided not to, because
It's for the
what
best.
makes it good is the fact that you don't know it's coming. So, if you were to signal that ahead of time, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. I kind of wish I had been in the room when that happened, just so I could see you go, what?
There was a Vine a while back where someone was doing, I came in like a wrecking ball, and then it shows someone holding a kitten by the scruff, and she's got her paws up like this, and she knocks over a tower of dominoes.
Oh no! Oh, it's a kitty!
Yes.
I really like kitties, you guys.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Later, I'm going to show you the cat that wants beer.
okay.
It's a tiny little kitten, and it won't stop crying, and because its owner would not let her stick her face in the beer. And she, like, starts holding it up, and she starts climbing her arm, trying to get at the beer, screaming at her.
Oh, I can't say I've never done that.
Yeah. So this fight goes down. I love that Olaf's hammer is making some damage happen.
Yeah.
We can't really talk about fight scenes. I mean, there's a little bit of... Okay, also, Willow's fucking telepathic.
Yeah, who knew?
This is scaring the shit out of me.
She's been studying a lot.
Yeah.
Like when Tara was talking before about how her growth as a witch is scaring her, this is what she's talking about.
I know.
And
it scares me that she's got no sensei to kind of say, like, here's how you restrain yourself in this shit.
Like, maybe don't go into this corner until you've reached this, thingy jigger and stuff, and maybe have some friends to talk about this with instead
Or
of
maybe
just...
you've, learned to do spells that are a lot less dangerous, and you've, been burned by smaller spells so that you are careful when you're firing the larger ones.
Yeah, not just trying shit willy-nilly, whatever.
Yeah. But there's a lot of brute force is kind of what's needed here.
So a lot of the point of this entire fight is that they figured out when they were at the magic shop that they don't have to kill Glory. That doesn't have to be the point. She can only do this ritual this one time on this one day, so all they gotta do is keep the bitch busy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they're doing. Little did they know, but someone's got a backup plan.
All right, so I've seen this episode twice.
Yeah.
And the first time I liked it more.
Okay.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Because I was live blogging, I wasn't paying that close attention to the dialogue.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Discount Ron Rifkin was there to help Glory.
Oh.
I thought he was just there to, seize some power.
Oh, to fuck shit up?
Yeah.
No, he talks about how he is an acolyte of Glorificus.
Yeah.
And has been for quite some time.
That's less interesting to me than some little dude who's... It reminds me of...
He's just a chaos demon.
Well, no, just, looking for his opportunity. It kind of reminds me of, again, Final Fantasy VII, when you find out that Sephiroth is why are you summoning Meteor? Well, because when the planet is injured, it gathers energy to heal itself. And if you're there, you can take that energy. So he's I kind of don't give a shit what happens to this world. I'm going to go where there's a lot of energy to harness.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it happen.
Dry.
There's a... Spike puts up a bit of a fight, but not very much of one.
Well, he's surprised, because the guy's name is Doc. Motherfucker's spry as fuck.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? Not me. Well, okay, I did, but not the first time.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming the first time either. But yeah, he starts cutting, and the portal opens.
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
Two very specific things happen. One is, I think it's the library turns into a nesting ground for alien-looking demon fuckers.
Yeah, whatevs.
And there's a big fucking dragon!
Yeah, dragon comes,
and
guys!
I like dragons, and this show could really use a pet.
I wonder if we're gonna see that dragon again.
I kinda hope so, because, we haven't seen Amy in a while. So, the animal familiar trope has not been used in a bit.
What I want to know is what the fuck happened to that kitten they had?
I don't know. Turned into a newt.
Miss Kitty Fantastico.
Cats are pretty independent. It's probably just sitting at home chilling.
Okay.
They had those timed, cat feeders at this point.
That's true.
You could leave the cat alone for 3 days and wouldn't care.
Yeah, I'd probably be happier, in fact.
Right. So, yeah, and then we have this scene where Buffy pulls the idea that Dawn is made of me out of her ass and jumps, which is I don't want this to bother me, guys. I'm totally on board for Buffy making the decision to take her own life instead of Dawn's. It makes sense narratively. It makes sense with where both characters are at. Mm-hmm. It makes sense with thematically as far as the season is going. It's just, it only works. It's very Deus Ex Machina that this fucking works.
Right. So from Buffy's point of view, I think this was just suicide because she had nothing to base this on, really. She pulled it out of her ass. And she decided that she didn't want to live in a world where she had failed Dawn that badly. So she's like, maybe this'll plug the hole and they'll get to live and that'll be fine. But if it doesn't, then Dawn can jump in after me and I won't have to live without her.
Okay.
So.
I didn't feel like she was sound enough of mind to have that.
You don't have to be a sound conscious mind for your subconscious to put shit together. We've all been there.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then there's some, I thought Anya was dead for a bit because shit fell on her.
Yeah, Anya had a rough moment, and Spike was flung from a maybe 9-story tower. And stabbed a couple of times. He seems to be no worse for wear.
Yeah, he's a vampire.
Yeah. And let's see. Xander got smacked around a bit. Giles still recovering from wound, but, able to murder at will. I really like Giles' line.
Which one?
When he was killing Ben, Ben's like, I thought she was gonna kill me. And Giles is like, no. Even though Buffy knows that Glory's gonna resurface and come back and make her regret this moment of mercy, she would never kill you. She's a hero. She's not like us.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does it. That's some stone cold motherfucking shit right there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Giles. I've got a lady boner for you, too. Right there.
Sure.
Pretty much just there.
I mean, yeah, it would just go so much further for me if Ben wasn't such a...
If there was anything worthwhile about Ben at all.
If this felt like it had some gravity of a person that somebody somewhere cared about.
Well, see, the thing is, they kept saying he was an innocent because they don't know that he wasn't an innocent.
I would still think that they
never put it together that he was the one that summoned the
I know, but
suckers.
I feel like their definition of innocent is far too expansive.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they would. I think they would hold it against him. I don't think they would think that qualifies for death.
Well, it does for me.
It does for me too. Fuck Ben.
Yeah.
And fuck Glory. And it's just like...
Thanks, Giles.
Glory is decently acted. It's just, she's very, very cartoony, very,
See, the
fact that her name is Glorificus, and she has people groveling and begging for her to kill them if it might cure her hangnail.
Yeah.
It's very DuckTales.
It is very DuckTales. Woo! And, that's kind of why I like it, I think.
Okay. This season is so filled with, important learning moments and, potential loss and growing up, and it's just... Glory is a giant mood whiplash.
Yeah, everything else is pretty serious in this one. I mean, someone actually fucking dies.
Yeah.
Not like Buffy TV death, but actually dies.
And then there's,
and then it's like, DuckTales,
as much as I didn't like Riley, it's there's, Buffy's lost a lot this year.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. And it's... Yeah, so I don't feel that Glory works in this moment in time. She feels a lot more like a season 1 or season 2.
Okay. It's a fair assessment.
Yeah, so I've thought a lot about this, and I think I like what they've done with Spike.
Mm-hmm.
I do wish most of his characterization and swing from chaotic evil to chaotic neutral did not come in the form of I Love Buffy.
Yeah, because character development at the point of a boner is not sustainable.
It's not.
Yeah.
But I like where this has gone, and I think I'm ready to accept Spike as a presence on this show.
Okay.
What
Maybe
else?
it becomes the Spike and Willow show.
Oh God, they would hate each other.
Yeah, but that's why they have to work together. It becomes tension and like a buddy cop drama.
I don't think it would be tense. I think
it's the odd couple.
I just think they wouldn't say anything to each other that is not completely factual. There would be no tension because they don't like each other enough to even engage and fight, Yeah, I'm glad Tara's alive. I hope that we get some actual characterization of her.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about Xander and Anya. Because I want Xander gone from the show.
Okay.
And it's not because it's not because I have anything against Xander, it's because he's stagnant.
Okay.
And even the splitting him into responsible Xander and
Goofy Xander.
Goober Xander, it felt kind of forced and like we've been through this before.
Okay. What do you think about him popping the question like that? Do you think it was genuine?
I think they're too young. That's really all I could think.
Okay. Well, she's a little older.
Stop it.
So, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
You rail against all of Buffy's relationships with older men, but you haven't said shit about Xander dating a 1,000-year-old demon.
It doesn't feel predatory to me.
Okay, that's fair.
In that Xander was a fully fledged, non-virgin adult.
Yeah.
And had a job and responsibilities.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as, what's the word? Vulnerable.
Yeah. And Anya was not the one with the power in this relationship. She doesn't even have fucking social security number.
That's true.
So, like, don't get me wrong. I still find it a little weird.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't feel like there's a power imbalance here. It really does when Buffy is 16.
Yeah. Okay. That's absolutely fair. And I'm glad we got to explore it.
Yeah.
So, do you think that the proposal is for realsies?
Oh, yeah.
And that they're totally going to get married and have lots of fat, happy babies?
For a very cynical, kind of savvy reason on my part.
Yeah.
In that, that's, like, the natural progression of character arcs in the 90s.
Yeah.
Is that there's getting your shit together, and then there's having a steady girlfriend, and then comes marriage, and then comes the baby. It's very, like, laid out, you know?
Yeah. It is what you do.
Right. It's what you do on TV.
Yeah.
So.
In reality, it rarely ever works out quite that simply.
It rarely ever works out in that order.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
all right.
It rarely only happens once for each of those steps. So, Giles also feels really stagnant to me.
Okay.
I would really like Giles to have something to do as far as what it means to have a dead Slayer on his record at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's had any before.
That's an interesting question.
I feel like the ratio of Slayers to Watchers is very lopsided, so it's likely this is his first.
I feel like they've mentioned before in the past that pretty much Watchers that lose a Slayer kind of have to retire because they're just too crushed.
They're like riders who lose their dragons?
Yeah, like the reason Buffy was trying to do research and was getting so frustrated that she couldn't find out more about Slayer deaths is because once they died, the Watchers just kind of had to be sent away because they weren't in there anymore.
To a farm with other Watchers to play with? Yeah,
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, Watcher retirement community where they can sorrow in peace.
Sorry guys, I'm fidgeting and dropping shit. I want to see more out of Willow. I don't know. I've talked a lot about how Willow scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be an interesting plot point, though. Willow out of control. So as a writer myself, that's where I would take it.
Okay.
But
would you take it there right away? Like, open the first...
it would be a slow build. I would do like, the only other Slayer is in jail. So Willow needs to start upping her magic use in order to take care of the vampire problem and starts doing more and more things that are probably not 100% safe and gets a little bit reckless. That's where I would take it.
Or that, or Willow goes to law school and gets the Slayer out.
Sure. I feel like even for attempted murder, a white girl in Los Angeles won't serve more than
3 years, maybe.
Yeah,
it's been about that long.
Well, Willow still has 2 more years of undergrad, and even if she takes an accelerated 3-year law school course, that's 5 years.
Fine. They'll just buy a lawyer. Anyway,
Right.
so that leads us to an interesting question. What's the Scooby Gang gonna look like now that they don't have a Scooby-Doo?
I don't think that they're not gonna not have a Scooby-Doo for very long.
Okay.
And I'll talk about this after the next episode and why I'm so sure about this.
Okay.
But I think Spike is going to be the driving force behind getting Buffy back.
Okay.
Because I feel like he's the only one in a position that he would need Buffy back.
He did take it pretty hard. Like, when they found her body, you see Spike in the background just, like, crumple like a wet Kleenex.
You could say the same about Dawn, but Dawn has already used some black magic to bring someone back and decided it was a bad idea.
Yeah. Spike had no problem helping Dawn bring Joyce back. He was just like, yeah, whatever.
Spike is also not very good at learning lessons that involve not getting what you want.
Well, yeah, he's a vampire. That's like a toddler with superhuman strength.
I also
known
think
as a toddler.
Angel's going to be involved. Because there's only been one person brought back successfully. Darla. I feel like Spike would Would Spike go to Wolfram and Hart?
If he thought he could get out clean, I think he would.
I don't know, like, why...
Remember, he's
if I
evil.
was Spike,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to, like, if I somehow knew that Wolfram and Hart was capable of bringing someone back from the dead,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to them and say, like, look, I'm a vampire.
Let's cut a deal.
Let's cut a deal. I can't hurt humans, but I can hurt demons. How many demons do you need me to kill before you resurrect the Slayer?
And they'd be like 500 billion because that shit's expensive.
Spike's
you
got
might as
nothing
well
but
give
time.
up. This is true. They would
Also-
reject him at first, and they'd reject him at the second and third and a fourth time. But eventually, he'd come up with a shiny they wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know, if I were Lila,
Mhm.
I would say it might be in Wolfram and Hart's interests to have a Slayer who owes us a favor.
That is fair. That is super fair.
Because Lila is very much about maintaining relationships that will pay off later.
Not only that, Angel would owe them a favor.
Yep.
And apparently, Angel's a big deal in the upcoming apocalypse, and they need him on
How
their
many
side.
apocalypses is this for us now? 6? 7?
6 or 7.
I was
or something.
quoting
There's a lot.
the show.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypses.
No.
Post-apocalyptic.
You know what? We're done. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it. So,
All right.
I'm going to give it a bit of an announcement, guys. Like, because of, like, the craziness, you might have to wait an extra week somewhere in here, because we want to rebuild our buffer, and it's very much like us to have a week and a half buffer and then blow that shit out and then miss a deadline again.
Yeah,
in
life's
one
been
fell
nuts.
swoop, but at least it's not a month and a half.
That's true.
Yeah, like this could have been a lot worse. So, I haven't decided what the airing schedule is going to be, but somewhere we're going to skip a week and then probably another one at some point. So, it's hot. I want to turn the air conditioning back on.
I want dinner.
I think we want food. Yeah.
Yep.
So, we love you all. Bye.
Bye.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.